Welcome to the Duck Dive. Today, we're exploring something really intriguing. It's a symbolic theory called Odam Tili, which translates roughly to the hidden speech of light.
That's right.
And our mission really is to try and uncover how some very old ways of communicating might, still be lurking inside the words we use every single day.
Yeah, it draws on this unique blend of symbolic thinking and some quite interesting linguistic observations.
So let me just throw this out there. What if the very act of seeing was once somehow the same as speaking?
Well, that's basically the heart of Odam Tili, isn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests this really profound link between light, the gestures we can see, and where language itself might have come from.
Okay.
It's definitely a symbolic view, I should say, not strict academic linguistics. But it highlights how tangled up these ideas might have been. And you find these echoes, maybe in words like white or right.
Right.
And even in other languages, there's an Uzbek word, AT, which is fascinating in this context.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The very beginning of Odam Tili. What's the foundational idea? How did early humans talk, according to this theory, and where does light fit in?
So the theory pictures this old world, let's call it, where people communicated mostly with hand signs, gestures.
Okay, visual.
Exactly. And think about what that means.
Yeah.
If you need to see hands to understand someone, then light isn't just helpful, it's everything.
Yeah, right. No light, no hands, no talk.
Precisely. No light, no visible hands, basically no communication.
Mm.
So light literally meant possible to speak. It was the absolute baseline condition for sharing meaning.
And I guess the flip side of that must be true too, then.
Absolutely. You got it. Darkness, night, hidden hands meant impossible to speak. Silence.
Wow.
And that simple observation, really, it's the bedrock of the whole Odam Tili idea. It ties this fundamental human need, communication, safety too, probably directly to whether it was light or dark.
That's a really powerful connection. So where does Odam Tili say we can still, feel that ancient link in our language today, like in English?
Well, Odam Tili argues that this old understanding is kind of hiding in plain sight in common English words. Think about white, light, bright, sight, even right.
Okay.
According to the theory, these aren't just about vision as we normally think of it. They're fundamentally about the possibility of communication.
How so?
Well, white suggests clear, visible. Light is illumination itself. Bright is shining, obvious. Sight is, seeing.
Yeah.
And right, meaning straight, true, open, visible.
Ah, I see the pattern, visibility.
Exactly. They all point to visibility, and Odam Tili equates that visibility directly with truth, with speech. The light shows the hands, and seeing those hands gives the tribe, its voice.
It's definitely a compelling symbolic framework, but for listeners thinking about, actual word origins,
Yeah.
how does Odam Tili square with the more, let's say, academic etymology?
Yeah, that's a fair question. And what's really fascinating is how often this symbolic interpretation actually kind of lines up with the real linguistic history, even though Odam Tili isn't claiming to be that history.
Oh.
Well, for example, the actual etymologies show that light, bright, and white, they genuinely do come from old Proto-Indo-European roots, meaning things like shining, burning, being clear.
Okay.
And similarly, sight and right, they share old roots linked to straightness, clarity, correctness, concepts that were often tied to visible truth or, the straight path.
So there's an overlap in the concepts, even if the Odam Tili explanation is more symbolic.
Precisely. It's like the symbolic code taps into these deeper pre-existing connections in how language thought about light and truth. It's quite neat, actually.
It really is. Okay, so we've seen these English examples linked to visibility, but you mentioned it's not just English. What about that Uzbek word, AE? How does that fit in?
Oh, yes, AT. It's a fantastic example they use. In Uzbek, AET means to say or to tell.
Okay.
And Odam Tili breaks it down symbolically. It suggests, represents movement, sort of like water flowing freely, mirroring the flow of thought, of
The
speech.
flowing movement. Okay. And the T.
And the T sound at the end. That represents the hand, the actual tool that makes the gestures, the signs.
The hand.
So AT becomes this symbolic picture, flowing speech made by the hand.
Wow. Okay, flowing movement plus hand equals say. But why T for the hand? Does the theory go deeper into that connection? Maybe something from nature?
It does, yeah. It asks why T specifically, and it links the T symbol to the branch of a tree.
A branch.
Yeah, think about the sound. The T sound is often a sharp, clear stop, right? Like the sound a branch makes when it snaps Tetris, maybe, a clean break.
Huh. Like a consonant stop.
Exactly. A natural breaking point, symbolizing a clear, defined consonant.
Yeah.
And then look at your hand. Our fingers, they literally branch out from the palm, like little twigs from a trunk.
That's quite an image. Fingers like branches.
So Adi puts this together. The flowing movement, I, plus the branch or hand, T, it symbolizes the hand taking that flow and shaping it into speech, into meaning, linking sound and gesture through forms found in nature.
That paints such a vivid picture of how language might have evolved. So what does Odam Tili suggest happened next? When it got dark, when the light faded, how did we shift from gestures to spoken words?
Right, that's the crucial transition point in the narrative. Darkness falls, light's gone. Those essential hand signs, they disappear into the gloom.
Can't see them anymore.
Exactly. So humans needed a new way. The primary method was useless half the time. And the theory suggests sounds took over from signs.
Inspired by nature, you were saying?
Yes, inspired by nature's sounds, that sharp snap of a breaking branch. Maybe that inspired clear, sharp consonants, the sound of flowing water. Perhaps that inspired the smoother flowing vowel.
Okay, I can see that.
And ayite in this story is like a memory of that shift. The hands movement, the gesture, transforming directly into a sound, into the word for say.
So if light words carry this IAA, this possibility of speech, what about darkness? What does something like the color black symbolize in Odam Tili?
Following the logic, black symbolizes silence.
Because the hands vanish.
Precisely. Hand signs disappear in the dark, and that K sound at the end of black. Odam Tili sees that as actively blocking the flow, a stop, almost meaning do not speak.
Wow. So the light words enable speech, the dark ones block it.
In the symbolic reading, yes. All those light words, white, light, bright, sight, right, they're seen as holding a K, the potential for speech, right at their core. Because clarity, visibility, those are the conditions you need for gesture language to work, for that hidden speech of light to actually be seen and understood.
Okay, let's try and bring this all together then. It seems clear Odam Tili isn't standard linguistics like you'd find in a textbook.
Definitely not. It's a symbolic code, a different way of looking.
But it does offer this really powerful, almost poetic way to think about that ancient link, doesn't it? Between speaking, gesturing, and light itself. It helps you imagine a time when maybe our actions and our words were just inseparable.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's an important distinction. Modern linguists aren't saying light literally means speak in its etymology. But this symbolic framework, this kind of mythic narrative, it really reminds us how deeply connected speech and gesture must have been once.
Yeah.
Light wasn't just about seeing. It was the very thing that kept those fingers visible, kept those hands talking. In a very real sense, it kept the tribe's voice alive.
So what does this Odam Tili exploration mean for you listening now?
I think this deep dive really pushes us to reconsider what speaking even is, fundamentally. It suggests language maybe didn't just pop out of our mouths fully formed. Maybe it grew from this incredibly deep, primal relationship with the world around us, where seeing something clearly was the first step towards sharing its meaning.
A connection between eye and voice.
Exactly. So maybe next time you say words like white or light, bright side or right, or if you ever come across a word like the Uzbek, a tap, just pause for a second. You might be, in a way, repeating an ancient memory.
Yeah, a story of people out in the daylight, fingers moving like branches, telling tales with their hands. And when the light goes, these words are like little echoes, reminding you that speech wasn't just born from the voice, it was born from the hand, from the branch, and from the flow of water.
It's a beautiful thought.
It really is. It's the poetic core of Odam Tili, isn't it? Our hands speak, our light reveals, our branches break, and our words flow.